A developed country is one that boasts features such as a developed economy, a stable and functional government, a robust infrastructure, a strong educational system, ample job opportunities, comprehensive health and social services, and a high degree of personal freedom. Countries that fall slightly short of these goals are classified as developing countries, while those that fall far short are known as the least developed countries, and are therefore eligible for specific United Nations assistance programs. The most widely used and respected measure of a country's development status is the United Nations Annual Human Development Index, also known as HDI. This advanced metric tracks a wide range of indicators, from adult literacy rate and life expectancy, to income inequality to mobile phone subscriptions, and then compiles them all into a number between 0.00 and 1.00. Most developed countries have a high HDI score, and therefore, considered to be very high human development countries. That said, Africa is the least developed continent in the world, with many of its countries still dealing with issues including poverty, corruption, social unrest and conflict. However, even among African countries, there are some countries that have managed to do well in the Annual Human Development Index, and thus, regarded to be the most developed countries in Africa. In this video, we shall be taking a look at the top 10 most developed countries in Africa 2023. If you are new here, welcome. Be sure to press the like button and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, so you don't miss out on future educative and informative videos regarding the interesting continent of Africa. With that out of the way, let's begin. 10. Morocco. Morocco, a North African country bordering the Atlantic Ocean and Mediterranean Sea, is distinguished by its Berber, Arabian, and European cultural influences. Morocco, with a general population of 35 million, is ranked as the 10th most developed country in Africa, and 121 in the world. The country has a HDI value of 0.676, and a life expectancy of 76.1 years. Morocco's economy is greatly backed by mining, construction, manufacturing, textile, telecoms, services sector, information technology, and tourism. Morocco has maintained a largely stable and successful state since becoming independent. It has the 5th largest economy in Africa and exerts substantial influence in both Africa and the Arab world. Morocco is also the most visited country in Africa, with over 7 million visitors annually. 9. Botswana. Botswana is among the most developed countries in the Africa with an HDI score of 0.693. The country is home to the largest diamond mine in the world, and mining is one of its most profitable sectors. Botswana has a fairly strong economy and the country currently boasts one of the highest per capita growth rates in the world. And experts forecast even faster development in the future with prudent fiscal policies. Botswana has a GDP per capita of $7,859. 8. Gabon. With an HDI score of 0.706, Gabon is one of the most developed countries in Africa. Gabon is one of the wealthiest countries in sub-Saharan Africa, with the 5th highest GDP per capita in Africa, and the 9th highest HDI. The nation is richly endowed with private foreign investment and petroleum resources. The country deals in exports ranging from aluminium ores, tin ores, petroleum, cocoa, and others. However, because of income inequality and internal corruption, a large portion of the population still lives in poverty. Gabon has a life expectancy of 66.8 years, and a GDP of $18.27 billion. 7. South Africa. South Africa is an upper-middle power in international affairs. It maintains a significant regional influence and is a member of both the Commonwealth of Nations and G20. South Africa is the 7th most developed country in Africa with an HDI score of 0.713. In addition, South Africa also has one of the largest economies on the continent. The country's economy is mainly driven by the agricultural, industrial, and tertiary services sectors. 6. Libya. Libya is one of the most developed countries in Africa, with an HDI score of 0.718. The country has a life expectancy of 72 years and boasts one of the highest per capita income on the continent. Libya is also the highest salary-paying country in Africa. Libya's major source of income is oil and natural gas, which accounts for a huge portion of its national income and nearly all the country's export profits. Libya had the greatest HDI of any nation on the continent when Gaddafi was still in power. However, all changed when the invaders and local rebels started their heinous and devastating attacks on the Libyan people and their government. However, Libyans still enjoy a relatively high-quality education and health care, and are currently ranked as Africa's 6th most developed nation. 5. Tunisia. Tunisia is an Arab nation, bordering Morocco and Algeria. Tunisia is ranked as the 5th most developed country in Africa with an HDI score of 0.731. In fact, Tunisia was ranked as the most competitive country in Africa by the World Economic Forum. The country has a well-diversified economy with exports ranging from citrus, fruits, sardines, vegetables, oils, almond, textiles, and chemicals. Tunisia has a life expectancy of 75 years and an economic freedom score of 56.6, which is advanced by an improved health care and educational systems. 4. Egypt. Egypt is one of the strongest countries on the African continent in terms of economy, military strength, politics, and overall influence. The country is Africa and the Arab world's most diversified economy, having a significant presence in tourism, services, manufacturing, agriculture, banking, and others. Before the oil boom in the Gulf countries, Egypt was formerly the richest, largest economy and most developed country in the Arab world. Egypt is also one of the few African nations dependent on a strong export market, trading with the Middle East, South Asia, and other parts of Africa. The country still holds attributes as one of the most technologically advanced countries in Africa. Egypt has one of the highest HDI in Africa, with a score of 0.731. The country's economy is heavily dependent on its exports sector. About 3 million Egyptians work overseas, primarily in Libya, Saudi Arabia, the Persian Gulf, and Europe. Egypt's economy is centered on agriculture, media, petroleum imports, natural gas, and tourism. However, pressure on the economy and resources is still present due to rapid population growth, scarcity of arable land, and dependency on the Nile. 3. Algeria. Algeria is the largest African nation by land mass, and it is one of the most developed countries on the continent, with an HDI score of 0.745. The country has the highest life expectancy of 76.3% of any African nation. The export of natural gas and petroleum contributes almost 1/3 of Algeria's annual GDP. Algeria's economy is largely influenced by tourism and trade, with Europe being the largest trader with the country. 2. Seychelles. Seychelles is the second most developed nation in Africa, with an HDI score of 0.785. The country is made up of 115 islands located 1,500 kilometers east of the coast of Eastern Africa, and it is one of the best holiday destinations in the world. Its economy is mostly based on tourism, agriculture, and fishing, with tourism employing the majority of the workforce. Seychelles is also one of the most educated countries in Africa, and its citizens enjoy a high per capita income. Mauritius. Mauritius is Africa's most developed country with an HDI score of 0.802. It boasts a life expectancy of 75 years and a literacy rate of 91.3%. Mauritius is known for its advanced economy, free health care, and schooling. Since gaining independence from Britain in 1968, the country's economy has developed from a low-income, agriculture-based one to a high-income, diversified economy. Mauritius has a high ranking in terms of economic competitiveness, a favorable investment climate, competent governance, and a free economy. Mauritius is also known as a strong tax haven for companies across the world and is Africa's first point of call for a continental tax haven nation. The country's economy is centered on tourism, textiles, sugar, and financial services, and has attracted significant investment from both domestic and foreign companies. However, despite being the most developed country in Africa, Mauritius placed 66th place out of 189 nations in the world. So, there you have it, viewers. The top 10 most developed countries in Africa 2023. Don't forget to give this video a like, and make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, so you don't miss any of our future uploads regarding the interesting continent of Africa. Thanks for watching this one, catch you all in the next.